Hey everybody, welcome to this video where we are picking up where we left off in a previous video, and we've connected 4 tables of this free sample data. Anybody will have this in their Databricks environment, even those of us who are using the free edition. So feel free to spin that up, get connected to the same data, and follow along. What we want to do now is we want to understand, how do you start to train Genie? How do you actually teach Genie to answer the questions in the way that you want? So we can do something here, like let's try to give a more complex kind of query that maybe Genie's not going to get completely right, and let's train Genie to start getting to where we want it to be. So one thing I mentioned in the previous video, I'll reiterate here, is natural language instructions, and we had touched on the idea of a fiscal calendar. So by default, Genie's not going to know anything about my business context or my business logic. You know, it's like just been born into the world and it doesn't know anything about this stuff. So anything that I want it to know, I'm going to need to teach it. Otherwise, it's just going to make assumptions. So when we ask it, show me orders per month, and Genie just gives me the calendar months as a basis for time. Let's see what this looks like. Sure enough, we're using the order date, and we're just doing this basic kind of month, year parsing on the dates. Well, maybe we want to tell Genie some context. So I might make a little section here in my general instructions where I can communicate in natural language and say fiscal months begin on the 15th of each month. And I'll also say default to using fiscal months. And let's see how far this instruction takes us when interacting with Genie. So previously it answered a question using order date in this way. Now let's ask Genie to show me the revenue per month. Now let's see how Genie approaches showing me time. And we can already see from the visual that it produced that it's using this fiscal month. And if we go to click on show code, it's doing some logic here to apply this this definition that I've fed to Genie about fiscal months beginning on the 15th of each month. So off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure that this is doing what we want it to do. But you know, for the sake of this, I'm not going to heavily scrutinize this specific definition. But if this was wrong, we could actually go through this process of telling Genie, hey, you didn't do this right, let's fix it. And then we could get to the point that we're going to do right now, which is I'm going to actually save this as a sample query, because I want to start exporting some of the knowledge from Genie's local context. And I want to store some of the things that when I see behavior that Genie's doing, and I want it to be repeated, you know, when my boss or when my end user or my customer logs into the Genie space and they interact with Genie, I don't want Genie to forget what it learned with me. I want it to persist that knowledge into future sessions and behave consistently and reliably over time. So this idea of training Genie does involve us oftentimes imprinting knowledge across these different tools we have available to us. So even though I can tell Genie, hey, you did this right, and I click yes, and I give it this feedback, that's good to do, but there is some amount of context that Genie is going to isolate to the local conversation that it's having with you. Now I've seen this be a point of frustration for people in the past, because they think that they taught Genie how to do something in the chat. Maybe they corrected a behavior and they got Genie to produce the output that they wanted. But then when they went into a new chat, the problem was recreated. Genie was back to where they had started. And that's actually more of a feature than it is a bug, as weird as that sounds, because You don't want Genie to overtrain itself on the way that one individual talks to it. You might have 100 different users, and you don't just want the loudest user, the person who's giving the most opinionated feedback to Genie. You don't want Genie to be changing the way that it's answering questions just because there's one person who's very opinionated who's talking with Genie. So that's the reason this context exists between what's persisted in the long run versus what exists locally in the chat. So let's just take a look at this SQL query real quick and make sure that this fiscal behavior, we've already told Genie in the general instructions what to do, and it got that right. But let's use another tool in the toolbox, these SQL queries, and let's add a sample, an example of how this logic is used correctly. So the type of question that somebody might ask here is, what's my revenue per month, right? And that's actually the question that we asked in this case. And we can paste in, since we like this answer, we can say, hey, this is a good example of how to answer this question that I want Genie to save in its memory banks. And I can even put some usage guidance here and say, when users ask about data per month, we typically want to answer with the fiscal months. And maybe that's not the most beautiful description either, but just for the sake of time here, we're building up this this knowledge repository that the Genie has to search through. Whenever somebody gives Genie a prompt, it's going to look over here into the context that we've created for it, and it's going to see, do I have natural language instructions? How am I supposed to join different tables of data together? What are different KPIs, measures, dimensions that I need to take into consideration? And what kinds of logic should I be looking at to answer certain types of questions that people might ask? So the more context we provide Genie, the better the odds are that Genie is going to be giving the consistent, reliable kind of experience that we want people to have. So let's do another type of question for Genie. Let's ask, what's my ATV? And that's average transaction value let's do this, for returned orders versus non-returned orders. And what I'm hoping to see here is that we'll get a join between our orders table. If we go back to the data panel here, I can show you orders is a table that has one row per order. Line item is a table that has multiple line items per order. And what we're hoping to see is that we're going to get a join that's going to be combining these two tables together. And we can see that that's actually the case here. Orders gets joined to line item. If we click show code, then we can also see all the logic that's happening, how the average transaction value is being calculated. And there are a couple things going on here that I might want to fix. The first is the average transaction value. This technically isn't the correct definition. The correct definition would be the sum of your total price divided by the distinct count of orders. So I want to communicate that to Genie, and I want it to remember it. But then also the revenue here, this total price, this is something that should be deduplicated at the order level. And right now it's going to be duplicated across each line item. That's a bunch of words, might not make all that much sense, but let's just work through this together. So I'm going to say, actually, there's something here we should fix. I'm going to tell Genie ATV should be calculated in the following way. Sum of revenue, or let's just say total price in this example. Sum of, let's go with revenue. Sum of revenue divided by the distinct count of orders. And maybe for the sake of time of this video, let's just tackle this one issue of nailing down ATV, because I want to show you how we can correct it locally in this chat. But then when we open up a new chat window, that definition is not going to be persisted yet. And how can we actually make sure that this definition gets respected and it persists across different chats? Let's see how that works. So if we click Show Code, now we can see that Genie learned from what we told it, and it's taking the sum of the revenue, or what it understands to be revenue, and it's dividing that by the distinct count of orders. And it's saying that that's ATV, the average transaction value. So that's good. And I'm going to say, hey, that's correct. And now what I want to do is ask it another question about ATV. And we're just going to see that in the local context of this chat, it's getting that correct. What's my ATV per shipping mode? So let's see what kind of logic comes up with. Sure enough, Genie's taking the sum of revenue as it knows it, divided by the distinct count of orders. So it's remembered in the local context of this chat how we want to calculate this thing called ATV. But if you notice in the instructions, there's actually nothing that's going to persist this knowledge. We're making a very big assumption here if we just call it a day and we say, hey, Genie now knows how to calculate this metric. I've seen it in the chat. It's getting the questions right. It's answering it consistently. But what happens if we open up a new chat? So if we come into a new chat and we say, hey, show me ATV per shipping mode. That's a question that we just asked. Let's see what happens. We're back to the original definition that Genie was thinking of. Given all the context that it has over here in the natural language instructions, the joins, the KPIs we've exposed, and the example SQL queries, to the best of Genie's knowledge, this is the definition of average transaction value. So what we can do is we can actually, let's come back to this chat where we had ATV calculated correctly. And for starters, let's see if we copy this. If we copy this logic, and this was asking about ATV per shipping mode, and we create a example SQL query where we say ATV per shipping mode, and we just copy in and paste the SQL logic that was arriving at the correct answer for this definition, what we expect to see when we ask this question, and we save this. Now that we've persisted this to a context that Genie will reference in any future chat window, let's again open up a new chat, and let's see how Genie answers this question. Show me ATV per shipping mode. And we can actually see here, once this pops up again. So Genie's exposing to us in its analysis, it's using the orders table, it's using the line item table, but then for this question, it sees that this question that we asked is similar enough to a question that it knows about in its knowledge repository. In this context of knowledge it's going to search through whenever it's answering questions, it picked up on something that it thinks is a really good match for the question that we're asking, and that's a SQL query that we had provided to it. So it has a pretty good idea of how to answer this question about ATV. It's saying, all right, I'm going to take the revenue and divide that by the distinct count of orders, which is what we want. Now let's see how well this extends. Here we're asking about ATV per shipping mode. What if we ask Genie about show me ATV per country? Is it going to be able to figure out that this SQL query example we provided is is it going to be able to pick up this pattern of how it should be calculating ATV if we're not specifying this part about it being related to shipping mode? And what we can see is that it seems Genie is able to put this together well enough. It's learning from this context. In this SQL query example we've given it, it sees that ATV is something that's present here. And so even though we didn't have the exact match of this question, ATV per shipping mode, when we asked it about ATV per country, it was able to parse out the correct definition and apply that. So for the sake of time, I'm going to stop it there, and we'll pick up with some other concepts in a future video. Hopefully this has been a good crash course in understanding the context between different chats. And while you're trying to train Genie to behave in a certain way, you do want to keep in mind, what are you defining in the local context of a chat? And is the knowledge carrying over to the global context that Genie is going to have of the knowledge repository and the context that it searches through whenever it's answering questions? So more on this later. Thanks for tuning in.